When making my combat robot Cinnamon Roll, the last plastic ant weight version had these mesh vents on top. In theory, these block debris while letting the electronics cool, but honestly, they're just decorative and look good. Because they're actually really easy to make, I wanted to put together a quick video showing the technique so that more people can include them on their robots. I'll start here in my CAD program with a large flat block to represent the top plate of a robot for this example. Also, it doesn't matter which CAD program you use for this, so stick with whatever you're comfortable with and already using. After you've got your top plate, all you have to do in the CAD program is add holes for the vents. Personally, I like to use slots with rounded edges, so I'll use one of those. For a little added complexity, I'll put it at a 30-degree angle. Now, I'll make it cut all the way through the body to make an empty hole. That's all we have to do in the CAD, so I'll export it as an STL. Now, we'll open up a slicer for 3D printing. I'll be using Orca Slicer for this, but it should also work in Bamboo Studio and a few other slicers. The key thing is that it supports Boolean operations between parts. I'll import my STL file and ensure that it's oriented correctly. If we slice it, we'll see the hole that we just made in the part. Let's add a mesh to that now. We'll go back to the Prepare tab and select our part. Now, we'll right-click on it and add a primitive part. We'll select the cube because it'll be the simplest part that will fit our hole well. If we slice it again, we'll now see that this box has been added to our part. Let's turn this box into our mesh. First, we'll match the rotation of the hole. We'll switch back to the model editing pane and use the rotate tool to rotate the part to 30 degrees. This means that the rotation of our box now matches the rotation of our slot. Next, let's resize the height of the box by moving to the scale menu. I'll turn off uniform scaling first because we don't want it to stay as a cube. I found that making it about 2 layers thick looks pretty good while still being pretty strong, so I'll set it to 0.4 millimeters tall because we're using 0.2 millimeter layers. We want it to be on the bottom layer of our print, so we need to move it down now. Change to the Move tool and use the arrow to drag it down slowly. Stop as soon as you see the white outline around the base of the part, which means that the box is now touching the print bed. If you slice it again, you should see that the part is now 2 layers thick. The box will have 1 layer on the base and 1 layer on the second layer of the print. If it's not, check your layer height and the location of the box in the Z direction. Now, let's use the Move tool again. Go back to the Preparation menu and select your cube from the Objects menu. Now, use the top-down view and the arrows of the Move tool to drag the box into the center of your hole. Let's go back to the Scale tool. Use the boxes on the side of the part to drag it so it just overlaps with the edges of your vent hole. If we slice it again now, we'll see that we've covered our hole with 2 layers on the bottom. Let's do the last step and turn this into a mesh. We'll go into the cube settings for Strength and change the top, bottom, and walls all to 0. If we slice it again, we'll see just infill at this point, and we've done all of the hard work now. I still like to play with it a little bit though, and I have some favorite infill settings that I like to use. I enjoy using the honeycomb infill with about a 30% density. Also, I can rotate the infill to match the vent hole direction. If I slice it again with these settings, I think it looks even cooler. Be sure to play around with different settings and find something that you like for your robot. As you can see, it came out looking really good. I'm really happy with this method and just how easy it makes it to add these little decorative touches to your robots. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and if you find it interesting, subscribe for more.